Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No. Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. We have a very special show for you today. We are looking back at some of the moments that got us fired up, like when Gwyneth Paltrow dished on sex with her exes and said that Ben Affleck was technically excellent, but she had more chemistry with Brad Pitt. We were divided on which one was more important. Watch.
But the chemistry is something that you can. Technical excellence is almost formulaic.
That means he's bringing it.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
It's formulaic. It's formulaic. It lacks imagination.
He hit the thing and it hit the bell. Boom.
Here's the thing. And technical.
Al and Jeff on this.
I know. I'm not going for
to have this walk through the park like we're just walking around an old pond.
It's not a walk through the park.
Erica.
It's okay. You say somebody's technically excellent, it means that they paid attention in health class.
They're draftsmen.
Okay?
They're
they understand that there's a piece and there's another piece.
Technically excellent.
No, I'm saying that the chemistry is so much more rare. She lit up when she talked about the chemistry.
She did.
She went on a down when she said the technical excellence.
No, she did not go on a down.
Yes, she did.
She cleaned it up, and what she wanted to say was, ding.
Well, Gwyneth seemed to have ended the debate by revealing that Brad was the one she'd get together with again, but the guys weren't buying it. Watch.
If you want to find chemistry, you can find chemistry in a college classroom. You can find chemistry with somebody. I have chemistry with Tori. No romance there. You can have chemistry with anybody. But there are only a few people that are so excellent that throughout your lifetime, where you were on movie sets, you are in the beautiful foothills of Africa.
Yeah.
You were going all over the world. But you still call this one person.
Why
do you call this one person?
Listen.
Let him bring it home. Let him bring it home. He was
okay, listen, Al Jackson, the king. But if you're actively listening to her when she's speaking, she's saying that Brad was really the person who lit her fire. That Ben might have been a great guy, and when I'm saying average for theatrics, I don't even mean average. It's just that he wasn't as special. He's not in that memory bank the way that Brad Pitt is in that memory bank. And I can tell you, as a woman and as someone who has a diversity of experiences, if I'm thinking about people who are really lighting my fire in my mind, in my memory bank, or currently, I'm always going to say that it's the chemistry. That's what I was saying to you. It has nothing to do with the hills of Africa. It's just what she said, and it's actively listening. It's actively listening to what she was saying, and that was my interpretation.
Well, listen, we got a heart out. Erica knows, and she brought you right to the end, so you can't talk.
I know.
That's a good strategy.
I stand by what I said.
What?
I stand by what I said. I really do think that she technically excellent means a lot more than she's leading on.
To you.
Jeff, I need your help here.
Well, listen,
this is
once again, we got a heart out. Well played, Al.
Yes.
Well played, buddy.
To you, not to women.
By the way, this debate went on for 2 weeks, and it's still going on.
It's still going on.
So speaking of debates, Al and Erica got into it when Al said he hated the phrase self-care because it seemed selfish. Here's another one.
I don't like the phrase self-care day.
Really?
I don't like it. No.
That means
Why?
that means you're lazy. You don't want to do anything today.
Selfish.
I'm with you. I'm with Al. I got your back.
It is not selfish. We tired, okay? We have been journeying for quite some time, and I resonate quite well with people who decide to have self-care days, okay?
But isn't that when you just take
If
care
you
of
say,
yourself?
I'm going to sit on the couch and eat chips all day, or you say, I'm going to take a self-care day, it's the same thing, but yours sounds way better.
That's not the same thing.
I'm with Al.
Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is necessary to live and thrive, and many people, mostly women, have not taken care of themselves at all. I'm not trying to make it a woman thing.
In here.
Mothers and wives.
That's such an easy way to pull women into it.
That's why
I'm just saying anybody can have a self-care day.
Albert,
but I'm just saying we do that all the time by just relaxing.
Who relaxes?
Literally,
do I look relaxed?
Do I look relaxed?
It's different. It's different watching us as opposed to being here.
Yes.
See how TV works?
Yeah.
My only point is self-care is a term that is it's a branding term. Being selfish is a proactive term for yourself. That I'm going to do this for myself.
Not to women. Selfishness.
Yes, because they're trying to sell things to women.
No, that we've been told we're being selfish in a historical context. Moving on. Making our way to the top of the heap at DBL, it wasn't always easy. We've all had those moments where we bombed an audition or two. Jeff and Al had the best bombs.
Oh, I can't wait.
Watch this.
When I interviewed for that Gatorade commercial, it's my famous one. I still drive by the baseball field where I auditioned in Beverly Hills sometimes when I'm there, and I'm like, oh man.
It hurt.
I was like a little out of shape, real quickly. A little out of shape. I went there with like a hoodie on, and everyone there was on the cover of like Men's Health at one point. And was like just jacked, ripped, right? And they're like, so I'm like, what do I do? To like hurry up and just run around, build up a sweat, get your abs all sweaty. I'm like, my abs? I'm like, okay, I was out the night before. I have no abs. I just started running. I grabbed my bag. I'm like, just around? They're like, yeah, just around. I was like, okay. And I just ran right through the bushes and I ran home.
It's so intimidating. Yours is like funny. Mine is super sad. You remember that show, Guy Code, that was on MTV?
Of course, I auditioned for Girl Code.
Yeah, I auditioned for Guy Code, and I had done a show called MTV Made a couple years before. So the woman that brought me for that show, she was like, I'm leaving the network, come have lunch with me. So we had a salad because I was getting ready for this audition. I think I told Erica. And so I had nothing in my stomach. And before I was about to leave, she brought over like a couple rounds of martinis because we had worked together. And so I had 2 martinis, but like didn't realize that was just a glass of vodka. And I went to my audition. I have no memory. When I walked out of the Viacom offices, my phone rang and it was my agent. He just goes, "What happened?" I don't know what I said in that audition.
Oh my God.
I have no memory.
Oh my gosh. Cringe, right?
My favorite stories are like bad audition stories. We've all had them. I would love to do a show that just focuses on celebrities, big shots, that's just like horrendous auditions.
You go to your car
yeah,
and like the walk of shame, like tail between your legs. I'd go get ice cream to like lift my
it
spirit.
hurt.
That's smart.
Yeah, I would sit in
internally,
silence.
you feel dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty.
We'll be right back.
DBL, this show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point.
But I'm gonna have a conversation about what's happening now.
We all are a little nervous right now, rethinking about our old audition stories. Now, you two are kind of auditioning for things, right?
Yeah.
So do you get nervous now, or now that you have a job?
Jeff is booking them, and I am not hearing back.
No, I had to do a long audition. I had like
nervous?
a 3 or 4 page. I was nervous. Like, it's so crazy. I come from this show being on air for 2 hours a day. We do every day. I don't, not that I don't care. It's like, it's just whatever. You go to your job too. It's not really nerve wracking. It was in the beginning, but you get used to it. And then I would go to audition. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, I feel my heart. I'm like, man, am I going to remember my lines so I do this? And plus here, it's like we joke up, we pick each other, like we mess up, we pick each other up. We know it's so easy at this point,
Do you feel more pressure because you have a regular job that like, you know what I mean? Like,
Or do you feel like you're playing with house money?
No, I separate the two. Even when I do it at home, I'm like, all right, here, let me just hit record. I'm
It's
like, whoa.
terrifying.
It's like weird. It's just so weird.
and it's such a vulnerable. It feels like you're a bug on your back, and you're going like this, and you're like, someone turn me
I
over.
think the worst is just like sometimes you just get sent parts and you're just like, this is what my agent thinks about me. It's like, you're going to be a pimp that hangs out in front of the basketball court. It's like, I'm not going to do that.
But like when you need the money,
But when you need it,
You got it.
I'd have been right there. Yeah, there was only a few that I turned. I think I told you one. I can't even say it on camera, but I got one. I have one that could like, we could do a documentary on this.
Oh my God.
Like the mere suggestion that it was sent to me was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any.
You don't
No
have any
way,
bad
no way.
Do it. Come on, Tori. You could totally do both. Welcome back. Our next guest became a viral sensation on TikTok after creating a series asking total strangers about the most fascinating subject of all, themselves. Earlier, we spoke with Hunter Prosper. Take a look.
What was the name of your first love, and why did you fall in love with her?
Oh, goodness. My first love's name was Vera. I fell in love with her, I think, because of her eyes.
Hunter Prosper is a nurse in the Pittsburgh area who talks to strangers.
My TikTok channel is about highlighting the fact that every stranger has a story.
What's one goal you're trying to achieve?
My goal for today is walking the same distance I was able to walk before I went in for surgery.
During the pandemic, Hunter started asking his patients questions about their lives.
And by the time I made enough videos, I was sort of run out of patient stories, and I didn't want to make any patient stories up. So, the next progression was just people outside the hospital.
He began walking up to strangers and asking them the same questions. And the results surprised him.
What's been your happiest time in life?
Right now.
After that, even if the video hadn't blown up, I was still going to keep doing it because of the type of reception I was getting.
Feels like we're going to Florida.
Now Hunter is continuing the series known as Stories from a Stranger.
What is something you loved to do as a kid?
Well, I always liked ice cream.
Elena, I have our snack.
And there are so many more questions to ask.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Please welcome to the show, Hunter Prosper.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, what a way to connect after the COVID. This is amazing.
We need this.
We so do, because I'm a little antisocial and nervous, I'll be honest. We want to know how you got started doing this. What was the patient story that just inspired you to make these videos?
Well, I got started because I was feeling sad and burnt out. In the ICU, I think my strongest attribute was being able to talk to patients. And there was a period there where, as I was building connections with people, I would lose them equally as fast. And it started to make me distance myself from people. I didn't want to talk to anyone. When I come home from work, I didn't want to talk to anyone. When I went to work, I didn't want to talk to anyone. So I think it was sort of necessity for me to start making these videos because it opened my empathy back up.
Yeah, survival.
So I wouldn't say it was any patient in particular. It was just sort of, I had to do something, and I guess this form of therapy is how it manifested itself.
Wow. Hunter, good for you, man. You know what? Do what makes you happy. It seems like you're happy, and you're making other people happy. I got to be honest, I'm a little jealous throwing a dart at a map and just going there. I got to tell you, I'm jealous.
Sam, but you can still do it.
What is the greatest response that you have gotten?
It has to do with a setting around the response. So I met this really kind older lady. She was taking out her trash, and I helped her take out her trash and asked her if I could ask her a question. And she gave me a beautiful response, and I left. A couple of days later, I come back, and she's gardening, and I ask her if she needs help. And she looks at me, and she's really bewildered, and she says, okay, yeah, and she doesn't remember me. I help her, ask her another deep question. She answers beautifully, tells me all about her life, a great historian with her life. And then I leave. A couple of days later, I come back, and she still doesn't remember me. So what ended up happening was I would go to this lady's where she lived, and I would help her like almost at least 3 or 4 times a week with any chore that she needed done around the house. But she never remembered me.
Wow.
So it was like I was building a new friend every single day, or I was building a deep connection with a friend every single day, and she was meeting someone new every single day. So I think that really impacted me, and I think I really value that relationship that I have with her now.
I'm going to go a little rogue here, because you ask all the questions, so I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
What is something that you wish you had told somebody that you loved that you didn't get a chance to?
Wow, what a good question.
I know, Albert.
Yeah, where'd you come up with that one?
I was watching your videos, and I was really taken back.
You know, I think that something I wish I would have said to a level that I no longer can. I don't want to say in particular the person, but their family member that passed away. At the time when I was young, I thought that I had forever with this person. Yeah. I thought that I would always be able to talk to them because I don't think the comprehension of life and death is really instilled into you whenever you're that young. So I think I took it for granted. I think I spent a lot of times hanging out with friends instead, or maybe pursuing my own hobbies. Whenever looking back, I really wish that maybe I would have dug deeper into this person's life. And now I no longer have an opportunity to. So I would say I wish I would have asked, how are you doing more? to this person.
Good one.
That's a good
awesome.
one. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Hunter. We needed to hear from you today. We appreciate you.
Really.
DBL Nation, be sure to follow Hunter on TikTok or Instagram at Hunter Prosper to see all of these amazing stories from strangers. Thank you again. We'll be right back.
Thanks for being a
Thanks,
nurse, too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Spending a little time lounging outside or even in a tanning bed is often touted as a way to get a sun-kissed summer glow that also helps prevent a biting sunburn. So does a so-called base tan actually prevent sun damage? We're shining a light on the topic with the help of these sources, and we can verify no, because that's ignoring what a base tan really is. Our experts all agree a base tan actually is sun damage.
No tan is a safe tan unless you're born with it. Anytime you're exposing to light, you're accumulating some form of damage.
Melanin, the pigment in your skin, is sent to the surface to protect your cells from further harm.
So it's a misconception that tanned, bronze skin is healthy skin. It's actually evidence that your skin needs a little bit more protection and might be at risk for skin cancer.
While a darker coloring could help your skin play defense against a sunburn, not by much. Several of our sources cite research showing that going out in the sun with a base tan is the equivalent of wearing an SPF 4 at most, when experts recommend wearing at least SPF 30 to prevent damage now and down the line.
So we can find skin cancer even in patients who haven't experienced things like sunburn.
And even people with naturally darker skin tones can get sun damage, like wrinkles or spots, and even skin cancer.
So we encourage everyone to sun protect.
If you're just looking for a pre-summer glow, sunless tanners like spray tans or at-home lotions are healthier options. But don't skip the sunscreen, as they also don't replace wearing SPF. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, we sat down with the owner of the plus-size boutique, Juicy Body Goddess, a place where you have to be to something to do something. Not only does Summer Lucille cater to plus-size women, she lets them know that they're worthy of looking good and being loved. Here's a look back at her amazing story.
My name is Summer Lucille. I am the owner and founder of Juicy Body Goddess, which is a plus size only boutique, and I deal confidence. So my favorite line is, you gotta be to something to do something, which was one of my lines that initially helped me go viral in 2021. You gotta be to something to do something. The stigma around women being over 200 pounds is this or that. Well, in my store, I want you to know you have to be over 200 pounds to play. So I want to break the ice, and when they come in, we just treat them like queens and princesses and just cater to them. And I want them to walk out of there just feeling better than they did when they walked in. It feels good to be nice. It feels good to give somebody, a stranger, a compliment. You never know what people are going through. It makes me feel good. I don't know about other people, but I love uplifting people. It's like my purpose, and uplifting. Every compliment I give somebody is feeding this confidence angel inside of me.
Wow, wow, wow. Welcome to DBL, Summer Lucille.
Hey, sis, hey. Okay, I'm like a fan. I've been following you, okay? So, Summer, very few people get to fulfill their purpose in life. How did your mom help you to fulfill yours, or at least to get the inspiration to do so?
Not only did she encourage me with words and empower me as just a little girl, she also lived her purpose, and she lived out loud, and she lived in confidence. So not only did I hear it, that you're the prettiest little girl that ever walked this earth, she also walked with her head up loud and proud. And not only my mom, my dad, showing how my dad showed love to my mother, and my aunties are divas. So I was just born for this.
Summer, we love your passion. This is an important question. What do people not realize about the damage they're doing when grouping overweight and unhealthy people together?
It's pushing a negative narrative that is not really honestly fair. I am the fattest I ever been in my life, and I am the healthiest. You would have looked at me 15 years ago doing a Kanye pepper diet, doing a cabbage, only cabbage, watermelon diet, boiled egg diet. I was very unhealthy. I go to the doctor. I'm very healthy, and it's very unfair to push your fat phobia and use that as a way to push your hate onto fat people while bringing that unhealthy argument into the conversation. Yes, there are unhealthy skinny people. There's unhealthy fat people. So nobody should really be telling you if you're healthy or not, unless it's your doctor. That's the only person that should ever tell you if you're healthy or not. So that I just do not like that narrative. When people bring that into conversation.
Beautifully stated. And bringing up just like pressure, I think about prom. There's a lot of pressure when it comes to prom and finding that perfect dress. How did your own prom play into wanting to give other girls the perfect experience?
I look back, and at the time of my life when I was going through prom, it was a very, very horrific experience for me. But I thank God I went through it, because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be able to help these girls that I'm helping today. I know how I feel not to find a dress. I know how I feel to be the fattest girl in the room. I know how I feel to not want to sit in the front of the room because you think people want to, the classroom, because you think people want to make fun of you while they're sitting in the back of the room. So I know this. So my life experience was able to, and I healed myself so I can heal these other girls and show them that their insecurities are actually beautiful, and to embrace them and to move forward. And it's a privilege. And again, it healed me, because some of these girls lost their mother, lost siblings, dealing with cancer. And back then, all I couldn't do is find a dress. Now I look back on my pictures and felt I was loved, and I appreciate it. So it healed me while I'm healing these young ladies.
Testimony teaches. Yes. Summer, we have about 30 seconds left, but what do you have to say to the people watching and struggling to love their size?
You have to love yourself. Get around people that love you just as much as you love yourself. Get in that mirror, tell yourself you're beautiful, and focus on the stuff you love about yourself. And your size is just a number, I promise you. And your final hour is not because I couldn't wear those jeans. It's gonna be who I loved, who loved me, your children, your family. Weight is such, it has no weight, no pun. So love yourself. Don't get discouraged. And you can just come and get something from me. I'll get you all cute.
Yes.
Summer, our viewers are loving you. I just want to end on this note. Beauty's Whole Health writes in, thank you so much, Summer, for your passion and mission of beauty.
So
and let me tell you,
Thank
everyone's echoing those sentiments. Also, DBL Nation, make sure to follow Summer across social media at Juicy Body Goddess 2.0.
Yes.
Her website, juicybodygoddess.com, and visit the store, which is right there in the Charlotte area. So to our Charlotte viewers, or if you're visiting, we'll be right back. Thank you so much, Summer. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you
deserved.
so much.
It's that time of year again where the mosquitoes are out and about. So many of us will do anything to avoid getting bitten and feeling that itch. One video claims if you spread coffee around your yard, you can kiss those mosquitoes goodbye for good. But is it true? Let's verify. Our source is Sloan Black, president and owner of Mosquito Joe, Southeast Charlotte, and a 2015 study published in Parasites and Vectors, which features articles on the biology of parasites and parasitic diseases. We showed Sloan Black the video, and he was skeptical.
I would say that there is no treatment that is 100% effective against mosquitoes. Sure.
However, he says the claim isn't totally off base.
It will get rid of some mosquitoes. You will have fewer mosquitoes, but it will not come close to eliminating the mosquito problem in your yard.
Black says that's because coffee produces a strong smell that covers up the carbon dioxide we exhale, which is what attracts mosquitoes in the first place.
So when you have an essential oil, or even the coffee grounds to a certain extent, that smell is so powerful to them that it really kind of overpowers their senses, and they don't like it.
While coffee won't get rid of mosquitoes, this study suggests it can help prevent them from laying eggs. In the study, a total of 3,306 eggs were laid by 60 females. Only 11% of those eggs were laid in water containing coffee. The rest were laid in plain water.
You can put coffee in that standing water, something that maybe you couldn't tip out a French drain in your yard or something like that, and it will reduce the amount of mosquito larvae, but will not completely eliminate it.
So we can verify that no, spreading coffee around your yard will not get rid of mosquitoes for good, but it could help reduce the population.
Your towel, your hat, sandals, sunnies, and sunscreen. They're the must-have accessories of the summertime. But when you're lathered up in last season's SPF, is it more than just out of fashion? Let's verify. Does sunscreen expire? Here's a look at the sources we checked in with to find out. And yes, sunscreen expires, after which time there's no assurance the product remains effective, according to the FDA and dermatologists.
I would take it seriously. About 1 in 5 Americans gets a skin cancer at some point in life. If you're putting it on your skin, it's important that it does the trick for you. So I would take a look at that bottle.
However, you might not see that date printed on the sunscreen bottle. According to the FDA, they require sunscreens and other non-prescription drugs to have expiration date labels unless testing shows the product will remain stable for at least 3 years, which means anything that doesn't have a printed use-by date should be considered expired after 3 years. Try using a magic marker to write the date of purchase on your new bottles. And store sunscreen away from too much heat and direct sunlight to keep it from growing bad prematurely. If you can't be sure you did that even with last summer's stash, you might consider a trip to the sunscreen aisle.
If you've got sunscreen that's been hanging around since last year, it will still work, but it won't be as effective as it would have been if it was new.
And don't forget, on long days in the sun, no matter the SPF, experts say sunscreen should be reapplied at least every 2 hours, more when you're swimming or sweating. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. Is muscle soreness keeping you from getting fit? Here are some ways to overcome the pain that can come with the gains. It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. First, always warm up and stretch before workouts. Next, drink water, stay hydrated. This helps to loosen joints and transport nutrients to create energy. And wait 48 hours before working that same muscle group. Also, always make sure that you're using the proper techniques when weight training. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers, supported by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 800-813-6801 or visit omegaxl.com for more information. We love sharing your questions for us. Here's a question for you. Judy wants to know, what's your favorite takeout food and why?
Thai food. I love it. I worked at a Thai restaurant. I love the spice. I get it Thai hot.
When I went to Thailand, do we have another question?
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah,
it's
sorry.
I'd rather hear the Thailand.
They just go, I like hot, and they go, this isn't for white people. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Real quickly, we're out of time. Sorry, Tori.
DBL's new every day.
Tori, say what you're going to say. Tori, go.
Bye. Go, Tori.
Okay, it was